We are Nate and Michaela Gay, and we planted DEVO Church in the heart of Denver, Colorado in February of 2024. I think for us, like when we really sensed the call to plant, it was then, okay, where do we go? What city are we called to? And we knew that we always wanted to plant in like a major urban center within America. And what happened was actually in August of 2020, there was a season of 21 days of prayer and fasting where we just fell in love with Denver. And we knew that's where God called us to go, and we started doing some research on the area. And Denver, within the city limits, over 90% of the people don't identify as a church-going Christian. And so we knew there was a lot of need, and we just wanted to come in and see how we could help meet some of that need, not thinking we're the greatest thing, but simply just the latest thing, and how can we work with other local churches in the area to reach people who are far from God. We've seen God do incredible things. We've seen people get saved like crazy. One of the incredible stories of life change that we've seen happen since our church started actually started on Launch Sunday. We had an individual come to our church who had been a part of a local gang for a number of years, and ultimately at that service gave their life to Jesus, and soon after made a decision to be baptized. And I'll never forget, that was such a huge moment of celebration because we knew the story. We didn't talk about the story a lot because we didn't want to put this person and kind of their privacy out there, but we knew just what God had done in their lives. And it was incredible to see someone leave the gang and then ultimately say, you know what, I'm leaving that life behind. I'm starting a new life with Jesus. And so, yeah, that was an incredible story. When we sensed the call to plant a church, honestly, the very first question, once we had our pastor's blessing, was when do we call ARC? Because for us, ARC has been family. Michaela and I both actually got saved and baptized at an ARC church in Enterprise, Alabama. And then we moved and got connected to a church in Nebraska where we're originally from through ARC, and we're on staff there. And then that became our sending church when we came to plant with ARC. And so it's kind of a cool full circle moment. But the process has been incredible. I think what it really provided for us was both relationship and clarity. Clarity on how do we reach people in this city? Like, what's gonna be the play, and how are we gonna, we're gonna go to a city where we know nobody. How are we gonna build relationship, and how are we gonna get them interested in what it is that we're doing? And so the ARC kind of model really taught us a lot about how to reach people who maybe were curious about church, maybe didn't want to do anything with church, but were just curious about taking a next step. And so we were grateful for the coaching and the feedback we received there.
I would say he's big vision, I'm a lot more planning, and ARC just really laid out both of those for us. For me, it was really nice to be able to see practically a timeline. What does this look like? What are the things that we need to do leading up to a launch day? How do we maintain a serve team? How do we get volunteers? And so it really just helped get both of us involved with the process, and it was just really, really helpful.
ARC has an incredible kind of roadmap for how to launch really well, but within each city and each region, there's some nuances that are affected by context of where you are. And so for us in an urban context, we learned how to contextualize some things, and we worked with our coach to always tweak our game plan. And that was incredibly helpful because it allowed us to maybe see some spots that were actually blind spots in our plan, and then contextualize that for where we are in the city so that we can reach people, and how that actually allowed us to reach more people in our city who were far from God.